call to the honourable member for Hasluck.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Prime Minister. What action is the Albanese Labor government taking to ensure defence is appropriately resourced, and why is this required after a wasted decade?
The member for Barker is warned and is not to interject any more during question time, particularly during questions. I can't be clearer than that. I'm a bit more generous. Give the call to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence.
Can I thank the member for her question? Today, Australia is spending 2% of its GDP on defence. Now, splashing dollars around is easy, but translating that spend into a potent and a lethal capability for our nation is actually hard. It requires strategic planning backed up by difficult decisions, which is why the government undertook the Defence Strategic Review and has followed through with real action, like restructuring the Army or funding the guided weapons enterprise such that we will see the beginning of the manufacture of missiles in Australia in 2 years. These are serious decisions backed up by real money. But the task of the government has been made all the more difficult by virtue of the mess that we inherited from those opposite, from the Leader of the Opposition. In coming to government, a full quarter of what defence was expected to purchase, there was no money for. And that's because we saw announcements like a $35 billion guided weapons enterprise, but only $1 billion committed to it. Or an announcement of an increase in the cyber capacity of the Australian Signals Directorate through Red Spice with an $8 billion hole in it. Announcement after announcement without anything like the real allocation of money for it. It was as if they were trying to do defence by press release. And what that meant was that the defence budget didn't add up and the defence establishment was left wondering what program would actually really make it to reality. And that is the legacy of the Leader of the Opposition when it comes to defence. But it wasn't just defence. In Home Affairs, we see that the Minister took his eyes off the ball, as has been revealed by the Nixon Review. As the Health Minister, he sought to abolish bulk billing. His record speaks for himself. He was a ministerial wrecking ball, and now, as the Leader of the Opposition, he has not one single positive plan for the future. And for all their bluster over there, last week, when Andrew Bolt asked the Shadow Minister the very simple question as to whether or not the Liberals would increase funding on defence, the Shadow Minister's answer, if not anything else, was candid and it was clear. He said, and I quote, "I can't commit to increased spending." Well, the Shadow Minister might be able to commit to it, but we can, because we are increasing defence spending, not just in accordance with the trajectory that we inherited from those opposite, but by more, much more, taking defence spending to 2.3% of GDP over the next 10 years.
The Deputy Prime Minister's time has concluded.